and the Slovenian substitute in Šeško puts United 1-0 up. Welcome to the Armchair Pundits Manchester United post-match review show. I'm your boy Monts. And yeah, I'm here again to give my honest reaction. United's on the road at Everton. And boy, did it have some drama. We narrowly won 1-0. But guess what? They narrowly beat us 1-0 at Old Trafford. So we owed them something. We owed them a slap. But when Carrick's at the wheel, and since he's been at the wheel, we've only lost 2 points. Everything else has been ours. So that's another 1, 2, 3 in the bag. Sour grapes at the end, 90 minutes, because they didn't like the fact that obviously we were taking our time and Cunha absolutely celebrating the fact that a ball's gone out for goal kick. But guess what? Who cares? Another 3 points on a roll, and we're going up. I want the world to know. We're in the top 4. Yeah, I'm celebrating. Do you know where we were last season? Ask Spurs, because they're still there. But anyway, today's performance definitely started a bit lethargic for me. And I was a little bit apprehensive on how this game would turn out in the first 20 minutes to half an hour, because Everton were at it. On the first, second touch, they were up winning all the balls in the air, and they weren't leaving anything to chance. They weren't giving United a sniff or even any time on the ball. And it started from kickoff. The ball gets pumped back to Lammens. Lammens has taken so long to set himself. Everton striker, Barry, has closed him down. The ball's hit him on his back and it's gone out for a goal kick. And it could have easily have gone towards United's goal, but it didn't. So yeah, after that, it was more pressing from Everton. And you could see that they weren't really doing a man-for-man press as such, but they were definitely doing pressing in packs. One United man had the ball. You'd have 1 or 2 Everton players around him trying to win it and trying to nick it off him. The first half was a little bit messy. There wasn't much going on in the first half, with United only having 2 shots on target, and Everton having 1. Everton were trying to really probe and get themselves some set-piece opportunities to get their 2 men in the box and dominate United in and around the keeper. And that was telling, because honestly, all their set pieces today, bar none, were spot on. They were right underneath the crossbar or right on the keeper. It was a scrappy first half. I think Mbeumo had a little bit of a wayward shot in the first half, which, to be honest with you, he just took the ball on a half turn and tried to, catch Pickford off guard. Didn't happen. Pickford made a decent save in the first half where Mbeumo, on a volley, set it back across goal to an Ahmad that got the ball under control and hit the shot at Pickford, who made a save, but the save almost trickled underneath his glove. And if it wasn't for Tarkowski on the line, it would have been United 1-0 up within 4 minutes. After that, there wasn't really nothing noticeable to kind of really talk about, to be quite honest with you. It was very scrappy. It was a battle of the midfields. Casemiro had a very good game in the first half. Same with Kobe Mainoo. Bruno was trying to pick up the ball in pockets. But in regards to Mbeumo, Cunha and Ahmad, they didn't really get much service. There wasn't really much for them to do other than be resolute in defending, because Everton were very much on the front foot. Now, I've got to note that the one noticeable change that I didn't mention earlier was Martinez out, Euro in. Now, that was only through injury. However, Euro, he had an immense game today. So well done him for stepping in and stepping up. When you're facing a team like Everton, you've got to expect physicality. You've got to expect balls into the box. You've got to expect to fight for every single ball in the air, because they're not going to give you anything light. Now, there was a few times that we did catch them out on the counter, but when we got into the final third, the quality was lacking massively. Like, we literally looked, we needed to have maybe a game 4 or 5 days ago just to sharpen the tools that we have up front. The crosses were short. The first touches were wrong. We were dribbling and slipping. We couldn't really beat our man 1v1 in duels. You could sense that the away fans were on edge as I was watching. I couldn't wait for the halftime whistle. I've got to be honest with you, because the quality that we were lacking needed to be fixed. Someone needed to have a conversation with these guys. You got to remember, in the first half, our goal expectation was 0.44 and Everton's was 0.04. So that just tells you the quality was lacking in the final third. I wanted to go into the break. I wanted Carrick to be saying to the front three, and not even so much only the front three, but also the midfield. The quality needs to be better into the front three, and we need to make sure when it gets to the front three, it sticks, and we create something, create an opportunity. But I got to be honest, I felt like the only opportunity we were going to get today was going to be something off the break on a counter, because the threat that we held with Everton pressing so high, I felt like we would really do them some damage with Keane and Šeško as the two centre-backs. So anyway, we come out into the second half and no changes were made. Maybe we should have taken off Cunha at this point, because I didn't feel like he'd done enough to warrant staying on the pitch. You know, there wasn't really much going on his side, and every time the ball came to him and he was cutting inside, he was either losing the ball or the passes weren't going. The passes didn't really have the quality that I expect Cunha to have. However, Carrick decided otherwise. Got to like the 58th minute. He drags off Ahmad, bigs on Šeško. Now, for me, Šeško should have started. However, I'll go with what Carrick's saying, because he's at the wheel and he's currently unbeaten. Šeško's up top, Mbeumo goes out to the right, and Cunha stays out onto the left. However, it didn't necessarily stop Everton from pressing us. Still corner after corner after corner. Now, an opportunity came about. There was a corner for Everton. They had probably about 9 of their men at the pitch. The ball breaks. Šeško sets the ball to Cunha. Cunha turns, sees Mbeumo on the run. He sends the ball from the edge of the United box all the way just over the halfway line to Mbeumo, who was on a foot race with Keane. We both know who won that foot race. Keane was treading water, mate. He was in quicksand. Mbeumo gets the ball under his spell. Sesko absolutely goes top speed, beats Šeško, and he's now almost in the box, level with Mbeumo, who was over by the halfway line, bearing in mind, yeah? Mbeumo sets the ball to Šeško in his stride. Šeško open foot and puts it low and hard past Pickford. And the Slovenian substitute in Šeško puts United 1-0 up around the 60th minute. How do you like it? Like I said, we're going up. I want the world to know. That song could be ringing in my head all week, I promise you. We're 3 points behind Villa. You know that, yeah? We're not far of cementing our top 3 space. We're not looking behind us, guys. We're looking in front. I said this to you guys last week or the week before. Be afraid. Be very afraid. United are on the ascendancy. We have got a destination, and that is Champions League spots, that is top 3, and that is a consistent playing style. Now, I don't like us playing strictly counter-attacking football, but you need to play to your strengths, and that is exactly what Carrick is doing. Now, after the goal was scored, Moyes decided that he was going to make some changes, and he brought on some sprightly players like George and Beto. Wasn't really phased about Beto, to be honest. But Beto being another tall player, Everton decided to go 2 up top. Now, not long after, about 10 minutes after that, George was probing us down the left-hand side. There was corner after corner under Lammens' crossbar. He was just dominating his box. That is what I expect from a United keeper. That is what I expect from a keeper. Not flapping around, panicking, not being strong enough in your box. Just calm, compose, and just go and get the ball. But either which way, I think another 10 or 15 minutes went on. Keane picks up the ball from about 30 yards out, and he strums one towards Lammens, who makes a strong arm save around the 85th minute. And that was pretty much all we saw from Everton after we scored. Now, I've got to be honest. The final whistle came. 3 points is all I care about. I'm looking for Champions League spots. That's what I'm looking for. We've got Crystal Palace at home next game. I want 3 points there. We're probably going to be level on points with Villa, and 8 or 9 games to go. Champions League is what I'm looking at right now. That's all I want is Champions League spot. The rest will write itself. That's it from your boy Monts. Another 3 points on the road. Another goal for United, for Šeško, super sub. Another clean sheet for Lammens under Carrick. Another win for Carrick at United. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Join, share with the family and friends. And I want to make sure you comment. We're on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, and X. Peace.